Seven. All right. Well, here we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. Welcome to another Mindset Saturday, where we all come together to reason and we all come together to learn how to think so we can live the way we want to live, right? And know that we can and we should. So welcome, welcome. It's good to see all of you. It's always an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for coming. And it's 7 o'clock, so stretch before you get here because we're out the gate. We're out the gate. All right. So like I was saying right before the 7 o'clock, we always try to, not we always try to, sometimes, well, not always. We try to go in, sometimes we go straight into something. Sometimes we have some warm-ups, just kind of depending on what happened last class, what's going to happen this class or the next class. So today I'm going to do a thing, like I said, that I say to my friends, I'm going to circle back. So I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to some little information, some information that I put out a couple months ago. I don't remember how many, but one of the warm-up exercises. And if you were here for it, then you're not allowed. If you're not, if you haven't heard it, this is for you. All right. So we're going to start off with the first one. First one of the day, bank. So like I said, if you have heard it, not for you. If you have heard it, not for you. If you haven't, this is for you. All right. So bank. What is this? What is a bank?
It's where you store your money.
It's where you store your money. Okay.
A financial institution.
Financial institution. All right. One more. We always need 3 at least.
How about a place where you put things, not necessarily financial?
Okay. So let's go back. So when I say, what does this word mean? Does everyone know the difference between connotation and denotation?
No.
Okay. Does anybody have an idea the difference between connotation and denotation? Connotation, denotation. Okay. Connotation. Connotation is what we take bank to mean now. It is what the word has evolved in definition or meaning over time. It doesn't change the original meaning. It's just what we take it to mean now. Like when somebody says, oh, that's cool, or oh, that's cold, or oh, that's fresh, or whatever it is. Yes.
Sparkle Bailey said feeling versus factual.
Sort of. Connotation is just how we're using the word in today's society, right? Like people back in the day used to say jive turkey, right? Or used to say, that's hit or whatever, right? It's not necessarily the original definition of the word necessarily, but it's an agreed upon definition. It's everybody understands what you mean when you say it. That's a connotation. Denotation is the actual D means complete or whole. Note, it means the whole word. It means the actual definition of the word, the actual meaning from its original inception. That's what denotation is. So when you use the word bank, you can be using it connotatively, but that is not the actual original definition of the word. That's just how it's being used now. Denotatively, it means something else, which we'll get to in a second. But the denotative part of the word, the original definition never changes. People may not be using it that way, but the actual definition of the word never changes. They may change the way it's used or what people mean when they say it, but it still never takes away the original definition of the word. The original definition of the word bank is table. Original definition, table or bench. Table or bench. That's the original denotative word for bank. Table or bench. What this word actually means is back in history, way, way, way back in history, when people had money coming from, let's say you wanted to come from not only state to state or country to country, but also city to city, right? If you wanted to go from, let's say, from Brooklyn to the Bronx, Brooklyn may have a certain money, they have their own money, and the Bronx had their own money. If you want to go from Orlando to Miami, Orlando had their own money, Miami had their own money. So if you were traveling from one city, just cities, not even just states, but states, countries, when you were traveling from one major area to another, each major area usually had their own form of currency. So when you left one place and went into another, there was a person standing at the gates of that place, of that new city you went into. Almost like, just imagine like a border crossing. So there was somebody from that state or that city that was there. And so what you could do with that person is exchange the money you had from where you were coming into the money that you have now where you're going. So they were basically an exchange agent, right? What you would call like a banker, a money lender, meaning but usually they were usually just exchanging the currency you had from where you are to where you were going. And so what they had was you had somebody sitting there with a bench next to it. They're sitting in a chair with a bench or a table right next to them. And they had currency, all the currency of that place lined out. And so when you walked in, you would take what you had from where you were and you would give it to this person and they would exchange it. They were qualified and were supposed to know the exchange rate for what you were changing, right? Or exchanging. And so all that money that they had that they were going to change currency with was put on a table or a bench right next to them. That was your first banker. That's what a banker actually is. That's what the word is. It was a person who did this job. Now, that person had a bench or a table and they would exchange your currency. When someone went bankrupt, the first person that went bankrupt was the banker. The banker, right, which is what we all are now. We're basically now in charge of our money, right, everywhere we go. When a banker went bankrupt, what happened was, if this person who knew the exchange rate or was supposed to know the exchange rate, if they were either incompetent, like they didn't know what they were doing, or they were dishonest, what would happen is someone would break their table. They would rupture their table. They would tear it. They would break it. So now that money went flying everywhere. They're out of business now, so to speak. They are bankrupt, right? That's where that term comes from. So a banker became bankrupt when they were either incompetent or dishonest. That's where the word bankrupt comes from. It means the breaking of a table where you were exchanging money, where that banker, right, was exchanging currency coming from when one person has it from one place to another. That's where the term bankrupt comes from, right? It was actually the banker's business being ruptured or basically ended because of their dishonesty or their incompetence. So the word bank originally meant table or bench. It was a place where a banker, where an exchange agent, a money lender would have their currency out to exchange from a person coming from one place into this new land so that they would have the currency of that land. So that's what a bank is. That's what a banker did or does. And that's what bankrupt. That's where that term bankrupt came from. All right. Does that make sense? Did everybody get that one? Okay. Another one. Paraphilion, aphelion, paraphilion, aphelion. Does anyone know what those are? Anybody have any guesses on what those are? Paraphilion, aphelion.
Something to do with your peripherals? I don't know.
That's good. It's okay. You don't have to know. All right, that's one.
Oh, Sparkle Bailey had said absolutely not.
Absolutely not. That's two. We need one more. Paraphilion, aphelion.
I don't know, sounds kind of like pedophile. So I don't know. I'm making that up.
Okay, that's cool. Paraphilion is when the earth is closest to the sun. Aphelion is when it is the farthest from the sun. Any idea on what part of the year the earth is closest to the sun?
Summer solstice,
What month? Give me a month or around months.
June, July.
So
June 21st, right?
we're saying June, July is paraphilion. We're saying that's when it's closest to the sun. Okay, when is aphelion? When do we think it's furthest or farthest from the sun?
December.
December.
December 21st.
December 21st. Winter solstice. Okay. It's actually the opposite. It's actually the exact opposite. Paraphilion, the earth is closest to the sun in January. The earth is furthest from the sun in July. June, July, late June, late July. It's the exact opposite. Right? And it's for kind of two reasons. One, the earth is on an ellipse, meaning like an oval shape. It's not a perfect circle. It's like an oval shape, right? So you have the tilt of the earth's axis. It's not the spin, it's the tilt. So when in the northern hemisphere where we live right now, it's winter. In the southern hemisphere, it is summer. So in Brazil, in Australia, anything below the equator is now summer. Us above the equator, it's winter. And it's what we would call winter and summer is when our northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. And summer is when our northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. That's one. But the second part of it is, think of it like a microwave bag of popcorn. When it's being heated up, right, it takes time to heat it up. Then once the time goes off, or you decide it's time to take it out, when you open the bag up, all the heat comes out, right? Well, the time it takes to heat it up is actually now. Paraphilion, when we're closest to the sun. We're heating it up. We're heating the earth up. So that by the time it gets to June, July, it's like the microwave bag now it's done. Now you open it and the heat pops out. It's been warming for 6 months or so. And then in July, what we call summer, June, July, what we call summer, it's like opening the bag. You feel all the heat from that time that has elapsed with the bag being heated all that time. Does that make sense? Does everybody get that? It's the exact opposite. Yes, it's the exact opposite. So paraphilion, when the earth is closest to the sun, that's in January. Aphelion, when the earth is farthest from the sun, is June, July. Right? All right. Last one.
One more.
Just things like we talked about, things to make you think, things to make you think about what you think about and what you think you know, to actually make sure you do research on what you think or what you believe, right? To make sure it's actually the truth. Because some things are just like paraphilion and aphelion, they're counterintuitive. You would think they're one way, but they're actually another way, right? I think this will be the last one. Apple. What does this represent? What do we think this represents? When this word denotatively, not connotatively like how everybody's using it now, denotatively, what do we think this word meant originally?
Fruit.
Okay, fruit. That's one.
Maybe people, like, the smartest apple in the bunch, maybe like people, maybe.
Okay. All right, people. One more.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say life.
Life. Okay, life. All right, cool. So apple. Apple is a fruit, and it does mean fruit, but what it actually means is the original is it meant all fruit. Originally, it meant all fruit. When they said apple, they were really talking about all fruit. Anything you ate to them was an apple. That was fruit. All things were called fruit. All fruit was called an apple. That's what apple meant. It meant all fruit, no matter what you were eating. As time went by, they separated all fruit, apple meaning all fruit. They separated berries. And then they started talking about nuts, but originally apple meant all fruit. Meant all fruit. Right? That's originally what the word apple meant. And still means. Denotatively, it still means that. Connotatively, we're not using it as that. But denotatively, it still means that. The original meaning never changes. How it's used may change, but the original never changes. Right? That's what that meant. Last, maybe a little fun fact. Have we ever heard the term kill two birds with one stone? Does anybody know where that's an English translation or English version? Does anybody know what the original was?
I do not.
Okay. Anyone else?
Spark Bailey gave us eyes.
Okay, that's two.
And I just want to shout out Gavin with his disco party and his sunglasses.
That's it. Kumo D. Who else used to have that? What was the name? Was it Africa Bambaataa?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they used to do those boy in the 80s. It's fresh. All right. So kill two birds with one stone. This is the English version of a Chinese folklore where there was a famous emperor who was a soldier who, to impress his soldiers, to show off to his soldiers, the original thing was kill two vultures with one arrow. So two birds with one stone is the English version of the Chinese folklore, kill two vultures with one arrow. And so this Chinese emperor, who was also a soldier, and in the attempt to impress his soldiers, got on his horse, sat on his horse, pulled his bow and arrow, and shot two vultures with one arrow. That's where the English term kill two birds with one stone came from. That's the anglicized version of that. Kill two vultures with one arrow. As a Chinese folklore statement. Kill two vultures with one arrow. All right.
I know
Perfect. Well, that's great. That's the point.
that.
All right. Here we go.
Let's go.
Today's title. Wishful thinking. What is wishful thinking? Is there wishful thinking? Is there such thing? If there is, what is wishful thinking?
Thinking without a plan,
Okay, thinking without a plan.
like dreaming without a plan for the dream to become reality.
Thinking, planning, okay, without a plan, okay. Okay, so thinking without a plan, okay, what else?
Hope.
Hope. Okay,
Desiring.
desiring, what is that? What is that?
A word?
Yeah, it is. What is that? What do you mean when you say that?
The act of desiring something. Just wanting something
Okay,
and then like thinking about what you want.
desiring, wanting. Okay, and that's this actually that's actually a good one because it really speaks to this,
Okay.
actually. All right, anybody else? So thinking, hope, desiring, wanting. Anyone else?
It's like kind of like an avenue for like creativity where, you know, like we have imaginations and we can come up with ideas in our minds. We can be innovative in our minds. And it's just like a form of creativity. It's an expression of creativity, I guess.
So avenue of innovation,
Mhm.
creativity. Now, okay. Now, actually think about, I know that was Sparkle Bailey, I know the voice.
That were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, thinking about something, it's not necessarily gonna happen, but you just thinking about it without a plan, maybe.
Okay, so perfect. So your answer, Ronette, your answer, Sparkle Bailey, Veronica's, everybody's answer. So I want you to look at the difference between the two answers. So look at what Sparkle Bailey said as far as avenue of innovation and creativity. She said it's an avenue. Then I think Sparkle Bailey, you also said thinking without a plan. That was you, right? So if one is an avenue of creativity and another one's thinking without a plan, so thinking without a plan is, let's just say, hope. Kind of desiring and wanting is on the edge. Avenue of creativity is different than those two. Would we agree? So then what actually is wishful thinking? If it's all of these, but they're two different things, what actually is wishful thinking? What is it actually?
It's frivolous without substance.
Okay. So then what substance makes it not frivolous?
So basically I'm piggybacking
The
off
action.
what Miss Karen just said. So basically it's like you have the right and the desire and the obligation to create these ideas. And so you can wish for it. That's like the first step is wanting it, desiring it, and then the second step is to make it happen. I would imagine. I'm guessing here, but that's what I'm getting.
Okay. So then which one decides whether it's an avenue of innovation and creativity or a hope and thinking?
June Marie put in the chat, thinking without action.
So which, okay, but if so,
Your desire to make it happen, like your ambition to make it happen.
okay, what's the key word in there?
You.
Yeah. Depending on who you think you are, it could be wishful thinking, or it could just be a thought that you decide to wish and turn into you turn your wish, your desire, your want into an avenue of innovation or creativity. It really depends on who you are. It depends on who you are. If somebody was sitting next to, if let's just say there were two people at a bus stop, and let's say one person was sitting there because they're waiting for the bus. The other person was a billionaire and they were just sitting down to tie their shoe. So they're both sitting on the bus stop for a second. And then the billionaire says to the guy, or the other guy says to him, hey, what are you doing next week? Oh, I'm going to Hawaii for a month. And the guy says, oh, and the guy may not believe that or be surprised because he sees that he's sitting on the bus stop with him, but he doesn't know who this person is. He doesn't know that this billionaire can afford anything. So to this person who heard it because of where he is, he may think it's wishful thinking. For this person who's a billionaire tying his shoe, it may be just a thought that they wish that they can turn that now is just an avenue of innovative creation because they have the means, they have the resources to make that a reality. It's not a wishful thinking. It's not a hope or thinking without a plan or an ability. It's not desiring or wanting, meaning that's where it stops. Desiring or wanting is like having a car. So if somebody gave you the keys to the car and you got to start it up, and then that was all you could do, is there a benefit of having the car?
It doesn't turn on, you said?
No, it turns on, but that's it.
Oh, no.
I remember when I was young, my mom used to, one of the big treats of the week was, I don't remember how old we were, but she used to let us start the car. Oh, it was huge when you're late elementary school. It was huge. You sit back there and think you really doing it, right? But you start the car. Couldn't move it, but we just started it. Okay, is there any benefit after that? You started the car. Now what?
Warm it up.
Okay, so then if that's all you could do, is there any benefit to that?
Jim Marie said it may motivate you, and that's kind of where I was thinking.
Okay, it motivates you to do what? To do something, right? But the whole thing is that depending on who you are, desiring and wanting could be forever. How many people have you heard talking about the same thing forever?
Right.
Whether it's something they want to do, somewhere they want to go, something they want, but they've been talking about this for 15 years. There's no end to that. Desiring or wanting, there's no end to that, because it's not an end in and of itself. It is the impetus. It is like starting the car. It's the thing you have to do first before you can move it into reverse, drive, even if you want to put it in neutral, right? You have to start it first. So your desire and your want for something is just the beginning, but most people never get past that. But they never get past that because they're using desiring and wanting as a hope. They're using desiring and wanting as just a thought. And their desiring and wanting, to people's point, doesn't come with a plan, but the plan is depending on whether you deem yourself capable. And that is based on who you think you are. So what is wishful thinking? It depends on who you are. What one person thinks is wishful thinking isn't actually that to someone else. It depends on who you are. Right? So when someone says, oh, that's just wishful thinking, what they're saying one of two or both things. They're either saying that thing you want is impossible for me, therefore it's impossible for you, or that thing is impossible for you, but not for me, or it's impossible for both of us. It's a wish, it's not attainable, because that is how they see themselves, you or both of you. So wishful thinking is based on who you think you are. Yes.
Sparkle Betty says low vibrational haters.
Right? So wishful thinking is based on who you deem yourself to be. That's essentially the answer. What is it? It depends on who you are. And who you are, because who you are determines what this actually means. Because wishful thinking could literally be an avenue of innovation or creativity, just as much as it could be desiring or wanting. As long as desiring or wanting is like starting the car and then you put it in reverse or in drive. You do something afterward. It's the impetus, it's the starter. It's not the ender. You don't start the car and then go back in the house and go to sleep. It's not the end, it's just the beginning of something. If you know yourself to be who you should know yourself to be, which is what we talk about here every weekend. Then you know it's just the start. Oh, I want something. I move. How many people want something and are still in the same place?
Right.
How many times have you wanted something? I want some ice cream. I'm too lazy to get up. Okay. Well, you have the thing, right? But the thing didn't move you enough.
Right.
So you can have something that you can recognize, but it doesn't move you enough, right? That's okay too. But so it depends. So wishful thinking, desiring and wanting, those are concept dependent. That's concept dependent.
Or you put how bad do you want it?
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Right. Well, people sometimes that gets into the point of action, right? In the sense of a lot of times people want things real bad, but they don't deem themselves capable enough. They want something real bad, but they're not good enough to get it. They don't deem themselves good enough to get it. Right? How many people want to pay their bills real bad? But they don't deem themselves good. They're not wealthy enough to do it. They don't have the concept enough. They don't produce the thoughts that produce the actions to do it. Right? The desire is just the beginning. It's not the end. It's the beginning. And most people get stuck at the beginning. Most people are literally watching a movie for 10 minutes and walking out and then assuming the end. Or they'll try to tell you, well, I know how it's going to end up. How? It was 10 minutes. It was just the beginning of the movie. Right? A lot of times we get stuck in the beginning of desiring and wanting. We don't use desiring and wanting as a mechanism to kick on the avenue of innovation and creativity. Wishful thinking is concept dependent. Who you believe yourself to be determines whether this is a wishful thought, like, oh, well, I would sure like, it's really a hope. It's really a desire or wanting that's never going to go past that. It's really a thought that never gets to the point of a plan or any action. It never even gets to that point because you don't deem yourself capable of achieving it. So if you started a car, but that's all it'll ever be. You're aware the car is on. Your awareness of this thing is on, but that's all that will ever be. Where another person gets in the car, starts it, and they move. That's the person where they start the car, their desire turns the avenue of innovation. It turns the thought into a plan. But that's based on you. It's based on who you believe yourself to be. There's a difference. There's a difference. So we have to understand wishful thinking. Who are you talking to? Who is the wisher? Who is the thinker? Who is that? That determines whether it is wishful thinking as in never going to happen, or wishful thinking as, oh yeah, I got this thought that I wish would be true that I now am going to turn into, right, a thought or an avenue of action and creativity, of innovation. Yeah, that's okay, good. Let there be light. That was a wishful thought. It was something that entity wanted. It was a wish. It was a desire. And it believed or deemed itself capable. Okay, let this be now. So to have a desire or to have a wish or to have a want is not a negative thing. It's not a reflection of your inability. It's a reflection of your ability to achieve, to attain, to accomplish. But if you don't believe you can or you are the being to do that, then it will remain a hope, a thought without a plan, a desire or a want that essentially is better said as hope. The car never moves. The desire never becomes. The want is never achieved.
Coach Lucky,
Yes.
I have like a question statement kind of.
Yes.
Yesterday in the morning meetup, we talked about our what if statements, like what if, and they were all like successful outcome statements. What if I, make $1 million, in 6 months? What if I do this? What if I do that? Just all like positive what if statements. And I was reluctant to send this to LaToya. I text this message out, but I didn't send it because I knew if I sent it, I was going to be planting the seed for me to hold myself accountable to it. One of my what if statements was, what if I successfully teach how to become numb to being hated on, how to a lot of people in the morning meetup have goals of superstar goals, rock star goals. And it's just like this thing in my brain, I guess it's wishful thinking of what if I successfully teach others how to become numb to being hated on? The reality is, based on what the formula that you're giving, I have to not only see myself in that seat, but I have to process the journey that I would have to experience in order to teach others what I've survived. And that responsibility would keep me, the old me, it would keep me at the desire stage or the hope stage, because the actual journey that I would have to go on and be publicly humiliated and become numb to it at some point and learn how to overcome it and turn it into a positive and be that Sparkle Bailey light that I am in those situations. That is a huge, I cried last night with a friend. Like, he was very encouraging, but I cried because I'm like, the responsibility that comes with that is so huge. I have to be protected in order to go into that space. So all the things you have to think about when you say, like, I have this idea, and I want to, see it happen or whatever, you have to think about the responsibility of the journey. And that determines whether or not it's just going to stay in your mind as a thought or it's actually going to be executed as a thing. So I don't really know. I know, but I don't like it, So that would keep me at the desire stage, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What keeps most people at the desire stage is what you said in some form of that. I know what I want, but I don't know how to get it. I know what I want, but I don't know how it's going to go. I know what I want, but I'm not sure what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, and all those different things. So, and this is, we're actually talking about that. So this is perfect. So I drew this while you were talking, and I want people, because I want people to understand something. All right. So, like, there's a trinity to what people want to call manifesting, let's say, right? And it's in the sense of you have, so it's kind of a 4-part thing. It's a trinity kind of in this way, but it's governed by something. Okay. So this trinity of things is governed by you. What is you? You means who you believe you are, is what is overseeing this whole situation. Who you believe you are. Okay. Based on who you believe you are, that's what we're talking about, wishful thinking. Based on who you believe you are, you have some thoughts now. Now, a thought is when you say, okay, I want to be this, or I want to do that, I want to have. It doesn't matter what the thought is. It's all the same as far as how it works. Doesn't matter what the thought is. A thought now produces a thought now. The thought is like starting the car. The outcome is I got to work, or I went to the park, wherever you went. So the thought is the beginning. The outcome is the end. The outcome is the end of the beginning. They are linked. They're not separate. They're linked. The thought of anything, any desire, any want, anything, doesn't matter what it is the beginning. The outcome is the end of the beginning. You have to understand they're linked. They're just two sides of the same string, of the same coin. One is this, one is that, but they're the same. They're not separate. The thought is the beginning. The outcome is the end of the beginning. The outcome is the thought. Outcomed, pushed out. Thoughts start inwardly. So everything starts inwardly and proceeds to manifest, to be seen out. Okay. Thought. Here's the thought. Thought is take out the trash. Thought is take out the trash. That's the thought. Thought is take out the trash. The person you tell to take out the trash goes and takes a nap. So you told Gavin to take out the trash. Gavin went and took a nap. So what does Gavin's action have to do with the thought?
He thought he should do something else.
Okay, but what is the key word in there?
Him.
Say it again.
Him.
Him. Okay. Somebody else. What's the key word in there? He thought he should do something else. What is the key word in there?
Thought.
Thought. Okay. Yes.
Can it be 2 words, something else?
Okay.
I was saying thought, like same thing, like
Yeah.
Need.
Okay.
Do.
Do.
Need.
Do.
Oh.
Do.
Oh,
Isn't everybody always talking about action?
yes.
Isn't everybody always talking about taking action? Massive action, responsible action, Herculean action, inspired action, black action, white action, male action, female action, woman action, superhero action. Everybody's talking about action, right? Now, in this example, Gavin did an action. He did something. He did something. I'm saying this for a reason. I'm saying it this way for a reason. Everybody is talking about action. Everybody's talking about what you're doing, what you're going to do about it. How are you going to make it work? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? So somebody can do something and still be wrong. You can do something and still be wrong. But then we justify, I'll say being wrong. I'm just going to say it that way. We justify being wrong because we did something. We think because we do something that is automatic, that it's going to lead to the outcome, right? But he did do something in this experience. He did something. But what he did not match the desired end or outcome of the thought. So doing isn't everything. And doing isn't everything unless it is governed by thought. And that's why everybody keeps saying thought. Yes. But so unless your doing is governed by your thought, you're not going to get your outcome. Your outcome is not going to reflect it. Right? So in our humanity, we are so concerned with doing and action that we don't actually master this part. We don't actually master the thought. The thought is actually what is governing your action. So sometimes, Gavin may have said, oh, Mom, I thought you said I could take a nap first. He may have said, oh, I just thought I could take a nap first. Oh, I just thought you wanted me to do it. So if his thought wasn't right, his action won't be. If he doesn't understand what you said, agree with what you said, if your thought isn't right, your actions won't be. Right? Because they are a reflection of your thought. That's true. But this is the part that everyone harps on, is action. But this is the part where this is actually an outcome. Your action, when proper, your action is an outcome of your thought. And your outcome is an outcome of your action. So your action is the outcome of thought. Everything you do is because of what you think. Every outcome you get is because of what you do. But you're only doing what you think. So your outcome and your thought are inextricably linked, but they are the conduit, the thing that draws them, that keeps them together in the middle, is the action. The action is the thing that is the mechanism that this thought goes through to get something. Just like you go through your body to have a physical experience. Right? So everyone talks about action, but most people's actions are not guided properly by the proper consciousness. They don't have the right thought process or concept of themselves or concept of their idea. So because they have a thought, they just run out and do. And everybody claps because they see them sweating and yelling, and they're on every chat, and they've been on every Instagram post, and they posted 500 Instagram posts a day, and they point to what they're doing constantly. But if you look at your outcome is really telling you what you're doing. What you're doing is thinking, really. The action is being governed by your thought. And the outcome is a reflection of your thought. It's just the end result of this conduit that you call action, but action is really is being governed by thought. The action actually is the thought. Is the thought is thinking, it's acting, it's the thought in action. That's what you call action here. It's thought moving. So your thought is moving. So if you have an improper, incorrect thought and it's moving, how do you think the outcome is going to be? Right? It's your thought governed by your concept, by you. You think a certain way. So Leslie thinks a certain way. Cynthia thinks a certain way. Latoya thinks a certain way. Karen thinks a certain way. And the way we think now becomes thinking. That thinking is our thought in physical action. Your physical actions are being governed by your thoughts. They're not free like we think they are. They're not. They are controlled by our concept. Our concept, who I believe I am, comes with a series of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that are now expressed, called physical action. But they are subject to my thought. They are not independent of them. And the outcome that I see as a result of my physical action that produces what we call an outcome, or the end, is literally the physical expression of the non-physical thought. It is the thing that I see that was formed by the thing I don't see. You are invisible. Your body is visible, but you are not your body. Right? You and your are separate. They're, as far as one is you, the other one is yours. It's your possession, your arm, your car, your coat, your life, your business, your money. Those are not you. Those are yours. But the yours are going according to you. The physical thing you see is directly linked to the non-physical thing you don't see. Your money that you see is a direct reflection of your thought thinking. So your thought thinking is the action you take to get money. But the action you take to get money is based on a thought. What do you think you have to do to get it? How do you think it shows up in your world? How do you think, is it hard? Is it easy? What is it? So now, this is for all of us. Sparkle Bailey, what I would tell you this is based on what you said. What I would tell you is this. If we really are who we say we are, who we are remembering and awakening to being, then do we ever lose our ability to have things the way we want them to be?
Absolutely not. I'm all getting it. I'm here with you. I get it. Get it.
So then if what you want to do to would you say get people to believe who they are?
Help people understand how to help people to teach people how to successfully teach others how to become numb to being hated on. So from the level of middle school all the way to, the most famous person you can imagine, how to not let it emotionally destroy you, how to look at it and embrace it and turn it into something beautiful. You know what I mean?
Okay. So now that is your thought. That's your original thought. And then you have an outcome, that end. Now, your thinking is, now you're saying, okay, well, you said, well, now you have to go and be embarrassed and you have to be all these other things. But if we are who we say we are, why do we have to do that? Why does that have to be the case?
Because that's what we think we have to be, or we think we have to feel those things.
Correct. So so all I'm saying to you is, I wouldn't pick that, but you can. I would pick something different if I were you. I would say, I not only do I have what I want, the thought and the outcome, but I also have it the way I want. I was talking to my daughter this week in the car, and I said, if you have two people and they both have $10 million, right? One person has $10 million because they robbed a bank. The other person has $10 million because they created their own business, or they got an inheritance, or they got theirs, let's just say legally. Which one would you pick? Anybody can answer. Which one do you pick?
anything but the illegal way, the legal
Oh.
way.
Okay, but if you both have $10 million, you both have $10 million. Why are you picking that one instead of the other one?
Whichever one was easiest.
Right? Because if you steal $10 million, you have $10 million. Right? But the other one, you got an inheritance, or so they both have 10 million. Leslie, why are you picking that?
Because you have to live with the knowledge of what you did to get that money. And if you, that's going to track you with every single dollar of that $10 million, with every penny.
So then what are we essentially saying? What we're essentially saying is, Sparkle Bailey, what we're essentially saying is, even though Leslie, I know you said it, but Sparkle Bailey, what we're essentially saying is, and what I want us to all be aware of, but I'm going to use you to make us aware of it, is it's not just what you have, it's how you have it. It's not just $10 million if you're on the run every day. You have it, but how do you have it? You don't have it, it has you. If it is better to have $10 million in peace than $10 million in pieces. As my mom likes to say, I'd rather be in peace than in pieces. But,
Jim Murray put in the chat, it's the how/action behind it.
right? It's how you have it. Okay, it's great to have a child, but what is your relationship with them? It's great to have a business, but what is your relationship with it? Can you not ever go anywhere? Do you always have to work overtime, so you're always tired, sick, never get to see your family? It's great to have $10 million, but you're on the run. It's great to have a spouse, but that's all you do is argue. It's great to have a job, but you don't get paid what you want, right? It is three things. It is, write it down. It's three things I want you always to consider in every desire you have for yourself, and it's three things I want for you to always consider when you are saying, let there be in my life, right? A desire that you want, or when you want to add something in your life. There's three things. What do I want? Right? What do I have? Right? How do I have it? And what did it take to get it? I don't mean a plan. I'm saying, what is it taking me to do this? Does it take me away from my family? What is it going to take for me to do this? I don't mean a plan. It means like that $10 million because you stole it, it took your freedom. Right? That $10 million, how do you have it? Well, you have it in fear and in hiding. When you what do you want? Like, what do I have? How do I have it? Right? And the way I go about it is going to decide what it took for me to get it. Right? And that is what I mean by your thought. If you say, you know what, I teach people how to be successful and not be concerned about other people's opinions, and I do that in such a marvelous, lovely way, and I'm super successful and well received and well respected, that's good enough. You don't have to denigrate yourself or open yourself up or alienate. That is just a choice that we're making because we're assuming we have to do this to get that. And that's not true. It's just nothing but an assumption we're making. Because if we are who we say we are, then not only do we get what we want, but we get it how we want it. God didn't say, let there be light, and now there's an infinite light bill. God didn't say, let there be light after I get this loan. Right, go for it.
Tavia put in the chat, what are the sacrifices?
Boom.
You put in the chat, what's the cost of your desire? Sparkle Bailey, come through, coach. I hear you.
Right? Does that make sense? Right? It's we're talking about wishful thinking, meaning we're talking about how are we thinking based on who we are believing ourselves to be in that moment. And that moment, Sparkle Bailey, when you described what you thought you had to do to get it, you were talking as Sparkle Bailey instead of God. You were talking as a limited human instead of an unlimited level of consciousness that does everything and does anything and gets whatever it wants, the way it wants it. That knows everything is what it is and what it wants it to be. Nobody's ever come and turned the light off. Nobody ever come by and turn the sun off. Like whose great idea was this? Right? God gets the highest level of consciousness, gets whatever it wants every time, because it's the only level. What does it say? I am God and there is no other. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. I turn on the light and I turn on the dark. I am God and there is no other. So if there is no other identity, guess what else? Somebody finish this for me. If there is no other identity, there can be no other
God.
No other me. No other I am. No other I.
If there
No
is no
thought.
other idea, if there is no other thought, there can be no other
Outcome.
outcome.
Oh.
If there is no other thought, there can be no other outcome. If I am God and there is no other, if consciousness, your awareness of being, is the highest authority and there is no other counter authority, not at all, there is no other counter authority, then that means whatever that authority says,
It is.
it is, goes.
Sparkle Bailey put in the chat, everything doesn't need to be associated with pain.
It doesn't.
I responded, unless you desire pain.
It doesn't. And those are just choices. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with pain if that's what you want to do. It's all up to you. That's the point. It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It's just understanding that you are the power. You are the power that chooses. So therefore you have the power of choice. It's all just a choice. There's nothing to punish you. There's no one to punish you. There's just a choice and its outcome. That's it. That's it, right? So you are when you understand that you are the chooser, then you get to choose. So if there's no other identity, if there's no other thought, there's no other outcome but that thought. If there's no other thinker, there's no other thought. If there's no other thought, there's no other outcome. So then whatever outcome is actually happening in our lives, in every area of our lives, is a reflection of what?
One.
One what?
Our thoughts. Our thoughts.
Of whose thoughts?
You.
Yes, you, our, singular, mine, you, like all of us as I am, as my, as me. It's not the Republican's thoughts. It's not the white man's thoughts. Not the black man's thoughts. It's not the girl's thoughts. It's your thought. And your thoughts are a reflection of who you believe yourself to be. Based on who you believe you are. Is you Leslie, or is you God in Leslie? Is you consciousness believing itself to be Leslie? Leslie makes a lot. The whole point of Saturday is for Leslie to start making choices like she really is, as I am. I am believing myself to be Leslie, but I'm not Leslie. Because Leslie is limited. Leslie has a body. She can't be in 12 places at once. But what does it say about I am? It says I am is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Omniscient, all-knowing. Omnipresent, everywhere at once. And omnipotent, all-being. So if I have all-being, who chooses pain with all-being? Who does that? For what? It doesn't make you a better person. You're all-being. You can't improve. We talked about that weeks ago. You can't improve. Not your true nature. The consciousness of your true nature can improve, meaning as Leslie, as Lucky, as Sparkle Bailey, as Gavin, as Latoya, as Marcus, as Cynthia, as in our human awareness can improve, meaning we become more aware of who we really are, that we're not what we think we are, that we become aware of who we really are. That is improvement. We're not improving our true network. Is anybody improving electricity? Like, you know what? I got to, man, I didn't upgrade electricity. No, you just got access. You found a way to get access to this thing that already could provide it. You can't upgrade nature. Anybody upgrading oxygen? Anybody, you know what?
I got that premium.
I got that. Man, I didn't, you know what? I hooked the sun up. It's 20 degrees hotter today. I didn't give it that thing. I didn't give it that thing. I gave it some of that grape juice with a little bit of that thing in it. It's 20 degrees hotter today, right? You can't upgrade nature because nature is driven by the ultimate highest level of consciousness. It's not going to go off because your light bill, you may not be able to pay your light bill, but the sun is going to come out. So just wait till the sun come out. Humanity runs out. God don't run out. Does that make sense? Like our human consciousness, sometimes we feel runs out. But when we become, what we're improving is our awareness. We're improving, meaning we become more aware that we're not Leslie, where I am believing itself to be Leslie. So since I am believing myself to be Leslie, I am going to make choices as I am for Leslie. I am not going to choose as Leslie because Leslie is limited. Leslie can't be in New York in 10 minutes. I am can. I am is already there. I am is everywhere. So if I make choices as I really am, I am now realizing that I'm going to make different decisions. Now, wishful thinking has a different meaning now. To Leslie, to all of us with a name and a body, the reason we come here is to improve, but not improve. It's really to become aware. Improvement meaning aware that we are not the name in the body. We are the being that gave this body a name and that makes this body alive. That is who we really are. And when we start making choices as we really are for the place we are really in right now, this body, then this body and this experience will change. Because it's being governed by the highest level of thought and not a limited thought. It's being governed with no cap, no conditions, no limitations. It is now unlimited consciousness, unlimited omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent ability through this physical thing. And now we're out here walking on the water. Now we're turning water into wine. Now we're prosperous and in good health, even as our soul prospers. Now, whatever we say goes, right? I am. And therefore I say, and therefore it is, because there is no other. So what I say goes. There's no other sayer. There's no other thinker. So I'm not in opposition with anyone. I'm not in competition with anyone because I said I am. I didn't say you are. I didn't say they have to be in order for me to be. I am. And it's in your best interest to realize that you are, right? For yourself to be I am. And to say I am what? Because whatever you say I am is, whatever you attach to that, you either are currently or you will become. Because there is no other power. There is no other consciousness. There is no other vote. It's not a democracy. Right? There is no other vote. There is no other voter. There is no other. It is just your awareness of being. So your thoughts are always leading you to your outcome. And what you call in the middle, action, is nothing but your thought thinking. It's your thought in action. It's using your physical body to act out what it's thinking. Does everybody understand that?
I got it in my toes.
Okay, there you go. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Right? Does anybody have any questions on that? Does anybody have any statements? Do you guys understand what I'm saying to you?
You walking through that actually just changed my energy, just because the idea, the reminder that I am, the living life as the person, as opposed to the thinker from the highest level,
Yes.
only makes life smaller and harder. So that it just throws me right into a space of, yes, think from your highest level, not from your lowest level. Mm-hmm. And don't think into what's worst case scenario. Think into the best possible answer.
Mhm.
and choose that and let that outcome come.
Yes. Yes. When God said, let there be light, God didn't say, let there be light. And if it's not, can I get a little, can there somebody I can talk to about it? Is there a manager? Right? We think that, what do people always tell you? You know what? What do you want to do? Oh, I want to be a basketball player. Well, make sure you have a, what do people say?
You need a coach,
A plan B.
Plan B.
a plan B.
Plan B. Guess what? When God said, let there be light, what was plan B if the light didn't come on?
A rainbow.
What was it? Like, what you gonna do now? Well, I mean, you're gonna make what, 70 zillion light bulbs? What are you gonna
Yeah,
do to light this joint up and keep it lit? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna call my utility company.
That's it. And you better hope they answer, and you better hope they don't keep hiking up the rates. Right? But as the highest level of thinking, there is no plan B. It doesn't mean in our human form that we don't take a back road to this or a shortcut to this. It doesn't mean that, right? What it means is realizing that I am the highest level of authority and I'm the only authority in my life. That authority is not physical, it's expressed physically. That authority is consciousness. What I believe myself to be is what I am or am becoming, period. There is no other law, there is no other way. If I don't change what I am thinking or believing myself to be, my physical expression does not change. If I do, it will change to whatever I'm thinking it to be now. That's it. That's all. And in order for me to do that at the highest level, I have to be constantly reminded, which is what we do here every Saturday, consciously remind ourselves that we are not Cynthia. We are I am. We are consciousness, the highest level of it. There is no other alternative, competitor, opposition, competition. There is no other. So whatever I think I am, that is what I am going to physically express. That is my expression, is the mirror. It's letting me know how I have dressed and clothed myself, what I am believing myself to be. So if I am the only thinker, if there is no other beside me, then what I say goes. Period. There is no one else to say no. There's no one to turn the light off. There's no one to change the channel. It's just you. And if we begin to think like that, you'll start making different decisions. You start becoming more bold and emboldened because you realize, if I can really get what I want and there's no one to tell me no, that's like if you told your little 5-year-old son they could have whatever they wanted all day. Do you know what they would ask you for? Can you imagine how what that day would be like for you? Right? They would be asking you for stuff out of this world. But they're asking you for what they want. They're asking, and they will do everything. I can have ice cream right now, and we can go to Disneyland, and I can have pizza while I'm in the elevator, and they would ask you for all of their heart's delight and content. There would be no cap on it. There'd be no limitation on it. There would be no condition on it. They don't care if your feet hurt, your back hurt. They don't care if you broke. They don't care if you tired. They gonna ask you until that 24 hours are up. You said I get a whole day. I'm taking all 24 hours. They won't sleep until this is done. They'll be like, I'll have a stomach ache tomorrow, but not today. I'm gonna have to deal with whatever comes tomorrow, but today I'm on parole. I'm free. Right? And what I'm saying to you is, do the same thing. Your consciousness, what did it say? It's my Father's good pleasure to give you the keys to the kingdom, that your joy may be full. Your consciousness has been personified as a father. It's not a male, it's not a man. It's just personified as that. Like we talked about, Mother Nature, Father Time, all that stuff. They're just personifications. But your consciousness, it's your consciousness' good pleasure to give you the keys to the kingdom, that your joy may be full. The kingdom is in you. Joy is in you. The keys to joy are in you. I am is in you. I am is you. You are the way. You are the life. You are the truth. And what does the truth do?
Sets you free.
Sets you free. So guess who is your freer?
You.
Guess who is freedom itself?
I am.
You.
You.
I am you. You are the key to your own salvation. You are your own salvation. I am. Whatever you attach to that, you're saying, let there be. So when you say, I am broke, okay. All right. I am sick, okay. I'm going to have to struggle to get this to work, okay. I got to get through some pain. There's no pain. There's no gain without pain. Okay. Don't worry. See, humanity says so many things because I think they unconsciously realize they don't have the power to make everything happen, but God does. So God doesn't just say everything or anything. I was talking to my daughter, and I think I've said that here. I said, can God lie? What do you guys say?
No.
Then how can it be God? If it's incapable of doing something, then it's not God. It's you. It's me then, just as we think we are. God can lie. God does not lie because God knows the outcome of that it doesn't want. But it can. We can lie too, but as we mature in mind, we stop, right?
Yes.
Because we realize the outcome of that. So we're never incapable. We just become more mature and wise, and we choose better. We become more choosable, right? For lack of better words, right? We start becoming more, but yes, God can lie. What does it say? I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Your consciousness will wound you and heal you, kill you and make you alive. Every death is essentially suicide, meaning it is conscious condoned. Who's going to kill God? Who's going to do it? I would love to know who's going to do that. We live forever. We can't die in our true nature. Our bodies can, but we don't. Yes, God can lie. God can do everything that humanity does because it's God in humanity doing it. I am murdered somebody last week. I am ran somebody over last week. I am got convicted of tax evasion last week. It's all the same mind, just believing itself to be something different. It's the same mind that makes a judge and a convict. It's just different or reorganized, different restructuring. It's a different structuring of the mind. When all of you women who are parents, before you were a parent, you were Leslie, you were Veronica, you were Sparkle Bailey, you were Cynthia, you were all these people. When you became a mother, when you became a mother, what's the first thing that changed? When you first realized you became a mother, when you first realized whatever day was, what's the first thing that changed?
You created life.
Your identity.
Your identity. Who you started now believing yourself to be. You're like, I am no longer just Sparkle Bailey. I'm also Sparkle Bailey, who is a mom. Mother. And guess what? Sparkle Bailey, who is a mother, makes much different decisions than just Sparkle Bailey before mother.
Right.
Leslie before motherhood. Cynthia before motherhood. All of you ladies who are mothers, you lived a much different life before motherhood, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You made much different decisions, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, but what changed it?
Little thingies we made.
Right? What changed it was you became aware that something else is happening, and it changed your identity. It changed how you saw yourself. Therefore, it changed what you did or didn't do, where you went and didn't go. It changed everything. And that thought became physical. And so now you're like, okay, I'm this, I'm that, and everything in your world changes. It reformed itself. It rearranged itself according to your identity. There's only one consciousness. It just believes itself to be 8 billion different people currently. It believes itself to be Leslie and Sparkle Bailey and Veronica and Cynthia and Latoya and Karen and all of us. It believes itself to be that. June Marie, all of that. But it's only one. It's just a different restructuring. I believe myself to be this, that equals Leslie. I believe myself to be this, that equals Lucky. I believe myself, but it's only one believer believing itself to be different things. So these actions that we're taking are not free. You're not free physically. You're not. You are under the authority of your I am, of consciousness. Humanity is not free from God. Whatever you want to call that. It's not free from the universe. It's not free from Allah and Jesus and Buddha and whoever else you want to name. It is subject to that authority. The freedom we get is to choose how we want that authority to act on our behalf. Remember in the playground when you're in first, second grade, you get into a fight and you said, I'm telling my mama, right? Or I'm telling my dad. My dad's going to come get you, right? Yeah, because we understand even though we're on this playground, we're still under an authority. And we can go to that authority to solve things that we can't. To provide for us, to protect us, to nurture us, to raise us. Well, that's the same thing psychologically. We're here on this call because we are waking up, we're maturing consciously. We're like, wait a minute, I'm going to get my dad. Something's happening over here. This ain't right. I'm going to get my I am, meaning I'm never separated from it. I just become more aware of it. I become more aware that this is really who I am, that I'm not this body. That I don't have the power to solve this problem, but I am the power to solve this problem. I, in my physical form, in my physical body, I don't know, I have a limit. It's like I can't be in another state in 5 seconds. But my consciousness, my awareness of being is unlimited. It's limitless. Yes, do you have something?
Sparkabay is in the chat, and the authority has always been in us.
It is in us because it is us.
Oh.
It is us. That is who you are. It's not in us. And yes, it's in us when we think we are Leslie and Sparkle Bailey. Then it's in us, yes. But when we know who we really are, we're in Leslie and in Sparkle Bailey. It's the opposite action. We are living through this, just like you drive through your car. Just like you see through your windshield. Just like you see through your eyes. Your car does nothing. Your eyes do nothing. Your windshield does nothing. It's you, the operator, that sees through that. It's the I am that sees through that. This body is your vehicle. Your eyes are your windshield. That's it. Right? You are the being seen through that body. Just like you are the being driving in through that car. You're using this car. You are using it. It's not using you. Right? You're using your body. It's not using you. You're using your eyes. They're not being used independent of you. They're being used exactly by you. They are dependent on you. Right? So that is what, when we're taught, that is what we're here every Saturday doing, is consciously remembering, you know what? I am not Leslie. I am not Sparkle Bailey. I'm not. I understand I'm believing myself to be that. That's what the thing called humanity is. I understand that. And I came here to do that. I'm all with it. But I also understood before I came here that I was going to wake up one day and realize who I really am. And guess what? That time is now. And every day, increasingly, I wake up more. I mature, just like our kids mature. And one day they can brush their own teeth. One day they don't need diapers anymore. One day they can cross the street on their own. One day you're waving to them as they're pulling off, driving in the car now. Consciously, our consciousness rises and matures to do things that it could always do, but couldn't do at certain points until it matured. And as it matured, our awakening is conscious maturing. We're maturing in mind. We're going up the ladder. And you start to see yourself as you really are and realize this is who I am. I'm just in here. I'm in this body called Justin. I am believing myself to be playing the role of Justin. But I'm always I am. I am is forever. Justin is for now. The character is for the movie. The character is for the play. It's not for life. You are the life giving that character life. Right? That makes sense? Okay, anybody have anything they want to say about that?
Just thank you, Coach. Thank you for the reminders. Just thank you for the reminders. Thank you for, and Vero, thank you for the replay. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I like this. I like, because like when was it Moses asked God, who should I say you are? He says, I am that I am. Because he want to put him in a box and say, I am that deliverer, or I am, whoever. But saying, when somebody asks us who we are, I am that I am. I just have to get that in my head, because I can put myself in a box, say I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a teacher, but that's not the only me. That's, I love this. I am that I am.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's I am playing all the roles. It's I am playing all. You could not be. No one is a mother without I am. No one's a father without I am. No one is a criminal, a crook, a priest, a pastor, a billionaire, or poor without I am. I am is just playing all the roles. God is playing all the roles. I am is playing all the roles. And whatever I am conditions itself or believes itself to be, that is what it expresses. That's what becomes physical. I am, to your point, is limitless. That's why it can be 8 different billion people right now and counting, right? I am can be a mother and a father, and there's no I am. Well, I am is different because I am a mother. That is, no, I am is the same thing as I am a father. I am a mother. The common denominator is the truth. Everything else is a variable that comes and goes. I am doesn't even have to be a mother to be I am. You were I am before a mother. I am before a father. You were I am before a teenager. You were I am before you even got a body. You've always been and you'll always be. This is just a game we're playing with roles. This is just a play we're playing, and with characters that we've named Leslie and Karen and Ronette and everything else. Those names are just roles. They're just characters. They're just personas. They're just masks to mask who we are really. The I am. We're just clothing the I am. Just like you put a jacket on your body, or like you get inside your car, right? You just got inside this body, just like you get inside of, just like your body gets inside of a car. That's it.
That's why I put in the chat.
I know I will put greater emphasis when asked, who are you? Or any question in that vein. Anytime I say I am from now on, I'm going to emphasize I am more than the role.
Yes. The role only gets to be what I am puts in it.
Right.
You ever watched a bad movie and see bad acting? It's like that. It's like, God, let me turn this off. Right? The character can only be as good as the actor.
Right.
Right? The Leslie can only be as good as I am is perceiving itself to be. And if we want more out of Leslie, if we want more out of this physical body and this and in this physical world and the physical experience, then we have to upgrade our I am. We have to realize that I am is limitless. There are no conditions on I am. There are no caps. There are no conditions. There's no limits. There's no blackout days. There's no exemptions. There's no exceptions. It's never incapable or incompetent. It never sleeps. It never slumbers. That is you. I am is you and you and you and you and me. It's all of us believing itself to be different iterations, but it's still only one. So when you say I am Leslie, I am is Leslie. I am is playing the role of Leslie. So Leslie can have anything because I am is hooked up to it. So then what does Leslie want to experience? What does Leslie want to experience here in this physical form? You know what? I want a new car. I am, take care of that. I have a new car. I've now attached I am to new car. I have a new car. I have a successful business. I am has a successful business. Would that be, if we said God has a successful business, would anybody be here shocked? Would anybody here be like, what? Oh, well, would anybody say, wait, watch this. Would anybody say this? Well, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Would anybody say that? God has a successful business. Well, God must have got hooked up. Who did God know? Right? Nobody would say that. It's stupid. But it's what happens when you believe you're Leslie or Sparkle Bailey or Lucky. When you believe you're human, you believe you have to know someone else besides you. You believe that. And that's part of what makes this life so cool, is because we really believe it. That's why we really laugh so hard until we cry. That's why we also cry. That's why we experience all the myriad of emotions, because we really believe this is what we're doing. But that's what makes it worth doing. It's like a good actor. That's what makes the movie worth seeing, because we really believe for that minute, he's really Lonzo on Training Day. He's really that dude. We really think he got a Monte Carlo on some switches rolling through LA. Like the police don't even go to East LA like that. They don't want no problem with them. I'm from Southern California. They don't roll through there like that, jacking nobody. Man, please. Please. You got to call them 3 or 4 times on 911 for them to consider going. They definitely ain't just riding through. Knock it off, right? But it's just, I am playing all the parts, right? So when you say I am, realize that's God. That is the omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent power that is capable, willing, and able and at your command to do. That is your genie. That's who you are. But in physical form, that's your genie. You rub the lamp. I am is the way. Your consciousness is the way. Your consciousness is the truth. It is the life. That's who you know. That's all you need to know. That's the only person you need to know is you. By proclaiming yourself to be what you would desire to be. A millionaire. Well, I know me. I am a millionaire. God is a millionaire. That makes sense to me. God owns everything. So $1 million can't be that much. So I am a millionaire. When you start to really understand who you are, you go from affirming to declaring. Perfect segue into the next one. The difference between affirming and declaring. Who knows what's the difference?
Affirming is agreeing and declaring is making a statement.
Okay. So which one, how do you know when you're doing which one? Or how do you know when you're doing both? Or which one? Or one of the other? How do you know?
So let there be light would be a declaration.
Okay. So then when you're declaration, when you are declaring, then what is that saying?
There are no other options.
So then what is that saying?
I am.
So what is that saying?
This is.
Okay. You're saying that I am, that this is, you're saying that you're aware of who you really are. Yeah, I'm him. I'm her. I'm it. I am the authority. I declare and decree and it comes to pass. My word does not come back to me void, but accomplishes all my good pleasure and prospers unto the place whereunto I sent it. Because I'm God, I'm not a man that I should lie, nor a son of man that I should repent. Somebody ever gave you their word and broke it? Yeah, well, they weren't declaring. They were at best affirming. But humanity affirms. They're trying to come into agreement with something. God's, all of you, what does it say? Know you not that you are God's, sons of the Most High? All of us are God's, all of us, individually and collectively as one God. The Elohim, one made up of many. We are the many that are made up of one consciousness. The many physical expressions made from one consciousness. We are all God's, sons of the Most High. We are expressions of consciousness. When we know who we really are, we declare. When we aren't sure or still trying to figure it out, we affirm. You know what affirming is like? Affirming is like when you first wake up and everything is a little blurry and fuzzy, and you're trying to get yourself oriented back to consciousness, so to speak. That's affirming. When you're clear and everything is up, you've been up for 5 minutes, had your little shot of coffee, and you're walking around and now you're up, that's declaring. Declaring is clear power. You are clear. There ain't nothing foggy or groggy or soggy. You are clear, right? So like Leslie, when you said, you know what, I'm going to put more emphasis on I am. When you put more emphasis on I am, you will realize you declare. You will feel the difference. Just like when you still are, but you know, when you were a mother and your daughter was much younger, when she was 12, you were declaring. There's a lot more declarative statements happening. And there wasn't no affirming. Clean up your room. You know what? She's cleaning it up. She's cleaning it up. She's cleaning it up. Oh, I'm just so happy now that my daughter is cleaning it up. Right? Clean that room up. Because you knew you were I am. You knew you were the highest level of authority. My mom used to let us have friends come over all the time. She made it like the place to be. It's, you know, on the weekends and when everything was okay, right, so to speak, we hadn't done nothing crazy. She let us come over. She let them come over. But everybody knew we had to go to church on Sunday. Everybody knew it. So we had all kind of, how can I say this? We had all types of different thinkers in our house. Let's say that. All types of different personalities. Criminals, thieves, everybody. But everybody played the straight and narrow when they got to my mom's house. So, I mean, I literally was with a kid who stole something from the grocery store on the way to my house. It was just like, how are you going to see? I almost threw it, I almost dropped it, but I'm not. Right? But then when they got there, these were turned into just popes, priests. They were pastors. They were just so straight and narrow, boy, straighter than the equator. Right? So every Sunday, we all knew how to go to church. So we did everything. We faked, we did every stomach aches, headaches, death. We did everything possible. Paralysis. I mean, anything, everything. I mean, anything you could come up with. We had some things planned out. This is what you're going to do. I mean, we did everything. Cold water on your head. Oh, I'm cold. I can't feel anything. Hot water. Oh, I've got a fever right there. I mean, we done tried everything. My mom would walk past the room like some kind of serial killer and be like, get up. Maybe 5 minutes later, don't make me say it again. Then you wouldn't hear, the van is leaving at 8:45. I still know the time. 8:45. You had every ailment you could possibly come up with. We tried out all in the van at 8:45 though. Because there was one authority in the house and everybody knew it. And my mom didn't get caught up in the middle. See, when you declare and decree something, let there be light, you know that you're the only voice and what you say goes. So you don't get caught up in the middle. Oh, well, what's going to happen? Well, how's it going to work? Well, my mom didn't care what you did. You could be paralyzed for 30 seconds. You could be whatever you wanted to be as long as you're in the van at 8:45. She was one little lady with all these big dudes in the house. All of us are in high school, all bigger dudes. And she just sitting down telling everybody what to do. Everybody be quiet. Everybody get in the van. Don't roll that window down. I got my hair done. So you got 7 or 8 dudes in the back of a minivan. You know those little slits in the back, right? Where you open a little vent in the back. We're all in the back like this. Man, move out the way. Let me get some. Everybody trying to suck air out. And my mom's sitting up there, won't turn the air on because it wastes gas. Won't roll the window down because of her hair. And we're all sitting up in there sweating, mad, and everything. And then you had to have a good attitude when you got somewhere you didn't even want to be. You had to have a good attitude for another 2 hours. I mean, it was a morning from hell. And everybody signed up, every Sunday. By Thursday, everybody was asking, hey, can we come over this weekend? Every weekend, it never failed. But I say all that to say, and I tell my mom this all the time, when she's wanting to decide about something or things like that. I'm like, Mom, you controlled 7 or 8 crazy, literally probably biologically crazy teen boys. There were no girls around. It was all boys. So nobody was paying attention. Nobody was following the rules. Nobody was doing anything right. Right? And one little old lady, because my mom was single at the time. One little, not old lady, but little lady at that time is like, she can't beat up anybody. And everybody was afraid. Everybody felt threatened at any moment. Like, hey, did you see you? Don't make eye contact. Just walk away. Just walk straight. Right? Right? So saying all that to say, right? It's my mom knew she was the authority in the house, and it didn't matter what else was around. Didn't matter what you thought. Didn't matter what you said. Didn't matter what you felt. Didn't matter. You knew what I said. You heard me, didn't you? Mm. She was the personification of I am. And everyone knew it. Right? And so I tell her all the time, Mom, talk to life the way you talk to us. You don't have no problem with that. You didn't care about my feelings. You didn't care about us. Look. No, that's it. That's it.
you go. Right here.
Yeah. See, I need to go see somebody later on because it's not right. She didn't care nothing about us. Getting 8:45. That was it. That is a declarative, right?
8:45, twitch.
That's it. It was 8:45. Like, you can test this if you want it. You can come get, come, what do they say? Come at me, bro. Yeah, my mom was like, yeah, come at me, bro. Come get some of this. You want some of this smoke? Come on, come get it.
Oh.
My mom was omnipresent. I came home with my boy Peter one day. We had a curfew. It was like 10 o'clock, and I had to get a hunger strike to do that. And I was a senior in high school, and 10 o'clock was the cutoff. And so, you're trying to be slick. We came in, it was like 10:30 something, walked in the door and closed the door, and it was quiet. Everything was dark. And so I took a couple steps, and I was like, my mom was sitting there in the corner in the chair. She was sitting in the dark, didn't say a word. And literally, we had closed the door, took our shoes off. We be quiet. Okay, that's what we're going to do. And we were there for probably about 30 seconds. My mom sat there the whole time, didn't say a word. Then we turned around, and I took a couple steps, and I just was like, something ain't right here. And she was sitting there in the chair in the corner. Man, I think if I was a little younger, I might have used the bathroom on myself. I was just too old to do it. I had just enough pride to keep myself together. But I mean, I was so messed up. My whole body was like, oh God. I just went, oh God. You just caught. It was like one of those Southwest commercials, like Want to Get Away. Man, we were so caught. And we were sitting there, 2 16-year-olds sitting there. We were probably holding hands at that point. So scared, sitting there holding hands like, what are we gonna do? Oh, she got up out of the chair and just walked by us and went in the room. We stayed up all night. We were messed up the whole night. What does that mean? Did she say something? Did she look at you? Did you come on and pay attention? Did you make eye contact? Did it look like she was really mad or a lot of mad? What exactly? Oh yeah, we were messed up the whole night. The whole night. We couldn't even talk about what we had just finished doing. It was no point. We were messed up. Stomach hurt, head hurt, just everything was messed up. And it's like, oh, and she just walked by and didn't say a word. It was cold. It was parenting at its best. It was top notch that night. Because to make a point, she said nothing. And it was like, oh God. There was no talking, no reasoning. You couldn't even strike up a conversation or argument, something to get it warmed up. Nothing. Just got nothing. Messed up the whole night. Literally scared to live in day. No, we're messed up. We were messed up. I've never been so awake all night. I could have been Paul Revere. We're talking about the British are coming. I would have been a good lookout that night. As I was wide awake. I mean, like somebody just gave me an IV full of Red Bull. I was up. I just messed up all night, right?
Scared the living daylights out.
Yes. No, that's it. We were sitting there like, oh my God, she's dead. So then it's like, don't say nothing. What is she gonna say? Don't say nothing. And she just sat there for a second and then got up and walked in the room. And we were like, oh God, it's over, right? But I'm saying all that to say, my mom controlled all of us because she knew who she was in that environment. And I want all of us to realize that that's who you are. That the world conforms to you, is waiting on you. Everything is waiting on you. But when you think you are human, when you think you're a Leslie, when you think you're Sparkle Bailey, what we do is when we think we're just a mother or a father, we place what we call categories become limitations. We start thinking not that we're just that, we start thinking we're only that. Not that's just what we're doing, but that's all we can do. And we take a category and make it a limitation. We make it a full expression and the only expression of ourselves. And that's not the truth. The truth is that you're I am, no matter what you're doing. Because I am has to be doing it. Right? So like Leslie said, and I want all of us to do, because that was a good thing she said, when you are thinking about yourself, when you say I am something, put the caps on the I am. Really bold that out. I am gonna overeat. Is that what you want to do? That's what I am does. I am going to be this. I am sick. Really? That's what I am is? Really? I am broke. Say it loud. Say it with your chest. Like Kevin Hart, say it with your chest. Right? I am broke. That's what you want to do. Like say it loud and proud. If that's really what you want to do, know what you're saying. You have to know what you're saying. But if you don't know what you're saying, if you don't know you. If you don't know what you is I am. You is not any other name, period. Never has been, never will be. So when I say, Leslie, what are you doing? Sparkle Bailey, what are you doing? Sparkle Bailey, what are you saying? Cynthia, what are you doing? Latoya, what are you thinking? The you is I am. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to your name, because your name can't do anything. Your body can't do anything. It's only being used like an Airbnb, like Hertz rental car. That's all your body is a rental. That's it. That you're responsible for. That's it. So what are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you saying? What are you believing? What are you declaring? As you, I am. Not at Leslie is not you. Leslie is yours. It's yours. It is a possession of I am, of you. Cynthia is not you. It is a possession of you. Latoya is not you. It is a possession of you. It is something you own, manage, and operate. We're all entrepreneurs. And the first thing that you own is your life. The name, image, and likeness of it. You own your name, you own your body, you own everything you say that is yours. That's your possession. It's not you. So when you think of what am I doing? What am I doing? I am doing this. What am I doing? What am I thinking? What is I am thinking? That is what is happening. Your actions are governed by your thoughts. Your thoughts are governed by your self-concept, what you believe yourself to be. When you know that you are I am, it will change what you think and what you think about and how you think about it. What is reasonable, rational, and possible changes. It is different to a God than it is to a human. It is different to I am than it is to Leslie and Sparkle Bailey and Cynthia and Gavin and Justin. I am is all things and can be anything. You get to choose what that is, how that acts on your behalf. You are not limited unless you limit yourself. There are no conditions on your good unless you condition it. Well, it's not what I know, it's who I know. Okay, well, you better find who you need to know then. You did that though. You made that choice. I can't make it because I'm a woman. But I decided from the beginning of time with my infinite intelligence, I can't make it because I'm a woman, but with my infinite intelligence, I decided to become a woman. How stupid is that? How stupid do you sound? I decided from my infinite intelligence, from my omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, I decided to become something that is no good to be. That's what I'm saying. I decided to become a woman before I got here. I decided to be a woman. I decided to have a female body. I decided to be Black. I decided to be white. I decided to be Hispanic, Latina. I decided to be Asian. I decided to be these things before I got here, made this body, named this body, called my parents. I decided I'm going to come through these people to get this earth suit. And now I did all that to not be able to do anything with it. Is that what I really think? Is that really what you think? From where you came from, you didn't even have to come here. So, and you own everything. So you picked a bucket. If you had $1 billion, who's going to the car lot and pick the worst car they can find? Who's gonna be a billionaire and say, let me find the worst neighborhood and let me get up in here? Where are they doing the most home invasions? Sign me up. Realtor, please.
Cynthia?
Yeah, Cynthia, listen, I'm coming out to the Philly area. Now, where are they robbing people the most? Because I'd like to,
Welcome to North Philly.
That's it. That's it. That's it. See, Justin's her assistant. That's it.
Come get a spot in Kensington.
That's it. Because that's it. I can find all kind of nice recreational activities. Right? So you didn't come here to suffer. You didn't come from suffering. But guess what? You can. You can. Because you can do that too. You're God. You can do all of it. You can do any of it. You can do all of it. You can do any of it. It's no big deal to you. Because you know that this is not real. You know why? Because you're real. You are reality. When people tell you to face reality, you might as well look in the mirror. That's reality. You are reality. You are what create what you call reality. So if you are what you create, if you are what creates reality, you have to be more real than it. How can the painting be more real than the painter? How can the art be more real than the artist? Right? Go ahead.
Let's look in the chat. Should our prayers be declarative in nature? Is praying affirming or something more?
Great question. When you know who you are, you understand. See, we are always affirming and declaring. It's not good or bad. We are affirming when we cough and somebody says, I think I'm getting sick. What is that? An affirmation or a declaration?
I think it's a declaration.
Okay. I would submit to you as an affirmation. Would you have made it without coughing?
No.
So you're affirming something. You're coming into an agreement with something.
Okay.
Now, was it your bright idea consciously? No. But you consciously chose to agree with it. You affirmed it. You came into agreement with something that happened before. So you didn't declare it. When God said, let there be light, there was no light before it. That's a declaration. I am going to choose what I am from where I am now. I don't have to see it first. I ain't got to show nothing first. Nothing got to be there or happen first. So you're essentially, though, you're always doing both, essentially. So when you say you're praying, what you're essentially doing is prayer is you're becoming aware of something. I want to become aware of something, of being something, of doing something, or having something. I want to attach I am to that. Right? So now when I'm praying, I'm saying I want to be a millionaire. What you're doing is prayer is I am. I am is praying. What you're praying for now is the attachment, money, health. So then what do? You combine I am healthy. That's a prayer. Now, when you know your I am, this is declaring that because I am, because I know who I am, this is a declaration. You're saying let there be. It's so, it's already done. Your humanity, your name, right? Who asked that question?
That was Leslie.
That was Leslie? Leslie, when you said your name, Leslie is affirming. Let the persona, the character, the mask is affirming. You're coming into an agreement with what I am, believing itself to be Leslie declared a decree. You're saying your true nature is saying, let there be. Every time Leslie thinks in her human mind, you affirm, meaning you agree with what you said, let there be. When my mom declared, all of us boys in the house affirmed. We affirmed. She declared, we affirmed. Yes. So every time you consciously think of your desire, you affirm it because you're just saying, I agree with what I already declared.
I got it.
Yes. Go ahead.
Is this why it's important, or like you've heard of this, I'm sure, where it's said to look for the affirmation or look for the I forget the word, but like for example, I'm a successful business owner, so then I look for all the evidence of that. So anytime I get a client, I'm affirming it. Oh yeah, I am a successful business owner, or something, I got paid. Yes, I am a successful business owner. So is that affirming then? Or you know what I'm talking about? I'm kind of all over.
Yeah, it is affirming, but really it's just acknowledging. It's becoming aware. Like when a a baby's in a car seat and they're driving down the street and they see snow and they point, right? Or when you see something, you become aware of it and you're acknowledging it. You're saying, yeah, I see that. Yeah, that is who I am, or that is what I see. That is, does that make sense? You just become more, your knowledge starts to, your awareness starts to increase. Yes, and as you do that, you become more aware of what's already there. You're right. You're conditioning your awareness. Right. When people talk about affirming, we are talking about agreeing with the declarative statement you already made. I am healthy. I am said it's healthy. That's what I am. Now, every time my leg may hurt, I may say, you know what? I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I may take Tylenol when I say it. Doesn't mean stop taking your medicine. It doesn't mean that you're denying something that's happening. No, what you're doing is you're turning darkness into light. You're saying, I am now putting this power. Okay, thank you. I'm now putting this power on this. I'm now declaring myself to be this. And so every time I consciously think about this thing, whether it's because of the pain that comes up or because it just crosses my mind, my leg's not even hurting, it just crosses my mind, man, I'm always healthy. I'm in good health. I am affirming. I am staying in agreement with that. Now, what people call affirming, like saying something over and over, to me, I just call that conversation. But what I mean by that is, like, I love to talk about what I have declared my life to be. Like listening to a song or listening to the radio or listening to TV. I like to talk to myself about what I have declared. I'm not considering that as an affirmation as much. I take it more as almost like conditioning. Just conditioning, just like I'm just repeating this thing over and over to myself, like, man, I'm always healthy. Man, I'm in such great health. Man, I'm God and there is no other, right? I'm God and there is no other. There's no other identity, no other authority. So what I say goes. I always get what I want. For me, I'm just talking to myself. I'm playing my own song. I'm watching my own TV show. I'm just creating my own entertainment. I am occupying my mind with my own desired program. Right? It is an affirmation. It says if I am agreeing with what I've said, but I'm really just entertaining myself with the joy of my desire.
Yeah, it's kind of like a game, I guess.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yes.
And I do that because it just kind of keeps me on that path, for lack
Yes.
of better words,
Yes.
without deviating. Ah, snap.
Yes.
Is this instead? It
Yes.
keeps me on my toes.
Yes. Because we all have to remember, right? I am. When you realize this is what you are, and I am is just consciousness, awareness. What you attach to I am is you're attaching content, so now you're saying you're now becoming aware of something. Your consciousness becomes aware of being whatever you attach to I am. So that is why I say I like talking to myself, because what am I doing? I am consciously talking to myself. I'm consciously keeping myself aware of being what I affirm, what I have declared. I'm consciously keeping, it's just like when you're consciously in a relationship or you're consciously exercising, or when somebody says I do something religiously, it means you do it constantly, you do it purposely, you do it with awareness, you do it with purpose. So I'm consciously talking to myself. I'm constantly conditioning. I'm constantly conditioning my mind, my consciousness. I'm just like a person working at the wheel with clay, or I'm consciously tinkering with my car. I'm consciously, shaving, smoothing out the wood. I'm consciously conditioning my awareness of being something. Anything, everything, whatever I want. Of being healthy, of being wealthy, of having a great business, of having wonderful clients, of having a great relationship with my kids or with my spouse, or with having whatever it is. I'm just constantly talking to myself, right? I'm just constantly conditioning my mind. I'm keeping my consciousness aware of being. Not that it forgets, but it keeps, to Veronica's point, it keeps my focus on something. Because wherever I am focuses, I am is the only creator. God is the only creator. I am is the only creator. Consciousness is the only creator. Well, what do you think is creating? Whatever you're conscious of being, whatever your focus is on. That is why people have such a hard time changing their lives, because they have a hard time changing their focus. They have a hard time turning away. It was dark. God said, let there be light. Most of us, God say, it's dark. Dang. You think is anybody we can call? Okay. Is there anybody we can call? Do you know anybody? Can we apply for a loan? Is there? It's dark, man. I think that's it. I think it's over. But God will never put on you more than you can handle. Hey, listen, there's no progress without struggle. You know what? Benjamin Franklin used candles. We just start to rationalize the dark. Yeah. Don't rationalize the dark. It's not reasonable. It's never going to be like math. 2 negatives is a positive. You being sick and broke is not going to become a positive. 2 negatives don't equal a positive. This ain't that, right? Don't rationalize the dark. Don't reason it. You don't have to wail against it. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to be mad at it. Just change it. That being had to say, let there be light. The most powerful being ever, which is who we are in this body, had to say, let there be light. So you do have to say something. You have to be willing to change your mind or say something different if you haven't said anything at all, or think something if you haven't thought anything at all. But that doesn't take anything but a thought. And when you know who you are, and I am is consciousness, I am is thought. So whatever, and I'm the only thinker. So if I think, let there be light, then that's what it's going to be, because it's the only thing that creates, and it's the only thing that's been said. So it's the only thing that's going to be created. And there's no one else to cut the light off. So because there's no other thought. So my good fortune doesn't come to an end. It doesn't have to take a roller coaster. Your business, your health, your money, your success, your relationships don't have to be on a roller coaster, up and down and back and forth. Consciousness is not up and down and back and forth. You're not alive and dead and alive and dead and alive and dead and alive and dead. You're not.
I just thought about what you said, and it reminded me, we give life to what we put attention to.
Yes.
Monique has her hand up.
Yes, we give life to what we put attention to, because we are life. Yeah. And whatever we put our attention to becomes alive. Yes, Monique.
Happy Saturday. Thank you so much, Coach Lucky.
Yes, my pleasure.
Okay, so I have a question. It's a I want to say personal, but business related. I have a coach that I want to work with, a young lady, business wise, and she's requiring a deposit of $3,000, and my bank account slapped me, and then I'm like looking for ways to work with this young lady, but I don't see a way. So, what would a suggestion be? Like, how do I turn on the light?
Wonderful. Right? How do you turn on the light? When you said, how do you turn on the light? What does light represent?
Everything.
Yeah, but when God said, let there be light, right? What did light represent?
I don't know. I guess what he said.
Light represented its desired end.
Desired end.
Right?
Okay.
He said, God, not he, right? But it said, let there be light. Because light is what it wanted in the end. Right? So, yeah. So that who you really are always speaks to the what?
The end.
The end. When you said your bank account slapped you, where are you speaking from?
Where I am.
Where you are. How are you going to experience the end from where you are?
I can't.
You can't. So that's not personal. That's the law. No one can. You have to be willing to move in your mind by speaking to the end. What does that look like? Something to the effect of, when you speak to the end, oh man, you can imagine yourself, or you can talk to yourself. You can imagine hearing somebody saying, hey girl, how's that new girl you're working with for your business? Oh girl, man, she's awesome. She's everything I thought and more. Man, we have a wonderful relationship. She's giving me so many tips on my business. It's better than I thought it would be. Right? Or, oh, I'm so happy that I'm working with this girl. It's been 2 months and my business has exploded, or whatever it is you wanted from there. But you're speaking from the end, right? When you speak from the end, okay, when you speak from the end, you are speaking as God. When you speak as God, you get what God gets. You get light that never gets cut off, that shows up for you every day. When you speak from the end, you get to work with that girl, and it's good and very good. You get what you wanted and even more. So you speak to the end. You talk about it like you already are doing it. You declare that you already are working with her. You declare what you have working with her and how it's going. Just like we talked to Gavin last week. How did your baseball combine go? Before he went, we said, how did it go? Because you are God, you are always declaring the end from the beginning. Because to you, there's only one time. Humanity splits up time, like humans split up cake, because we don't eat the whole cake. We cook the whole cake at once, but we eat it in slices pretty much, right? Or handfuls, but you can't eat it all at once. We can't live, we're not living all eternity at once in our humanity. We're living it day by day, but it's already all there. So you speak to the end. I am now I'm working with this person. Oh yeah, I've been working with this girl for 2 weeks now, 2 months now. And it's awesome. It's amazing. We have a great relationship. She does great work. I'm so happy with her. That is a declaration. Every time you think about your bank account and it tells you it's not, then what do? You affirm. It means you remain in agreement with what you declared. Oh man, I love working with the girl. We have a great time. That's a declaration. That's an affirmation. Then you can have a conversation. In the sense of you can walk around and you may go on a walk. You may take a drive in your car. You may just be in the shower and you're like, man, I'm so happy I'm working with this girl. Man, she's awesome. Dude, she's great. We have such a great time. She's so cool. Man, I always get what I want. Man, it came so easy. It was so wonderful. I'm so happy that I know who I am and that I always get what I want, that I always know how to live in the end, that I know that when I say something, it's so. Right now, you're keeping your consciousness focused on something. You're not letting it waver like a car. Somebody not paying attention, letting it swerving, right? And everybody honking at you, right? So you always speak from the outcome. You speak to the outcome, from the outcome, and that is what you get. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question?
All of the questions, so I'm crying. Thank you.
Wonderful. It's my honor and pleasure. You got it. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's it. I'm telling you, that's it. And then when she helps you express your wealth, then you can express your wealth to me. You know
of course.
That's awesome. Awesome. That's how you do it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. That's how you do it. Good work. Okay. I know it's 9. I want to make sure anybody else have any questions or comments or anything they wanted to say before I let you wonderful people go.
Yes, Coach Lucky. I wanted to commend you again for one thing about you that I love, I absolutely love, is how I know a lot of woke people who attack other belief systems, and you are the first and only brother that I've met so far that embraces all the belief systems in his teachings. And so we all are teachers, right? We all have the ability to teach and to guide and all that. And the way that you teach and the way that you guide, based on my experience, I'm grateful. My mother had me in the door with a lot of good people, a lot of knowledgeable brothers and sisters all my life. So I've seen a lot of different presentations and different ways to express the message and things like that. But what I love about you is how you include, your messaging is inclusive. It's not exclusive. So, but still it is exclusive because I'm not inviting everybody here. Like I told Dave that the other day in the morning meetup, everybody ain't worthy to be here like that. Everybody ain't trying to hear it. They're not ready. It's not that they're not worthy. They're just not ready to hear it. And so those energies, I don't invite to spaces like this. I just appreciate you and your messaging for how inclusive you are with the other belief systems that exist among us. It keeps everybody in a community mindset. It's like an all-powerful community mindset rather than these are the Christians over here, these are the Buddhists over here, these are the Muslims over here. That is such a moving way to deliver a powerful message that applies to all people on this planet. So I have to give you your flowers for that, because I'm sitting here, I'm just, the replay, Vero, I'm so grateful. Vero plays her role and I love her, and I love her. I appreciate you so much, both of y'all. I have to give you flowers because you deserve flowers. And this is who I am.
Yes.
I give flowers. It is my honor and my joy to give you your flowers. You deserve flowers for that. You need to bask in your greatness from other people's perspective. I really appreciate this call. I really do. That's why my children, at first they were like, why we, and now they enjoy it. They enjoy the lessons and the messaging, because we were brought up, we are the only ones. We are the only way. We are this. Everybody else is beneath us. Everybody else is wrong. Brother, you come in at the situation like, listen, it's room for you. It's room for you. It's room for all of us. We control this. Like, you got to sit in your moment, in your glory, and just bask in your greatness. I love y'all. Thank y'all both for being a dope, amazing partnership. Thank you for the excellence. Thank you for the reminders. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. And thank you. And man, it's just awesome. So wonderful to see us all getting it and all learning. So thank you. And tell Cassidy I gave her a break, but I'm coming back next week. So
She's laughing. She can hear you. She's laughing.
Yeah, tell her I gave her a break, because it's not all at once. I already argued with her brother enough. So I gotta, I gave her a break, but I'm coming back. And then Gavin, I'm coming back for the week after that.
It's her time to shine.
That's it. That's it. That's her time. She's on the witness stand now. She's up. Wonderful, wonderful.
I was definitely anticipating you coming back at me.
Oh yeah, I'm coming back. Inside fastball. That's it. Working on my baseball game. Understand? All right. Wonderful. Anything anybody else wants to say? Thank you all. And
Coach Lucky, I got something real quick.
Justin, what's up, man? Good to hear from you.
You went quiet, Justin.
Hello? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I went on the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to say something real quick. You said don't rationalize the dark.
Yes.
And it kind of reminded me of like a conversation I had with Vero like a year ago. It was like, and I could never find a way to like explain or describe like what happened. But it was that I was like trying to rationalize the dark I was in. And she was like, why would you accept that? And the way you just kind of flipped that, I was like, wow, that's powerful. That's really powerful.
It's my pleasure. We all do it. We all rationalize the dark. We're all told to be happy with what you have, be grateful, gratitude, and all those things are good. But a lot of times it makes people feel guilty for wanting more. It stops people from realizing that there is more and that they are more, and that whatever more there is, why not for you? Who else? Why not? Why not you? Who else is good for? Who else is great for? Who else is super great for? Why not? Well, why not you, right? And so a lot of times we rationalize the dark. We rationalize our unhappiness, our discomfort, or why we shouldn't go after what we really want. Just accept what you have, be grateful for what you have. And we do in various forms and ways, and depending on we have our own tailor-made rationalizations in darkness, but we all do it and we all have done it. And it's to realize that who we really are, to say, hey, we can always say at any moment in time, let there be light, because we are light itself. Absolutely. So yes, sir.
Thanks again, Coach Lucky.
My honor and pleasure. Thank you for coming, brother. Thank you. Okay. Well, hey, thank you all. I'll let you go. Have a wonderful Saturday. Thank you for another weekend, another Saturday with you all. It's my honor and pleasure. It's our honor and pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much, Veronica, for your help, as always, on the keyboards, on the ones and twos. And,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, have a wonderful weekend. Happy holidays, and look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a good one.
Thank you, coach.
That's it. Oh, there she is.
All right, Vera.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Great to hear from you. Bye.